Welcome to Life Lessons in Law with Lashonda. I'm your host, Lashonda Counsel Rogers. In each episode, we have authentic and entertaining conversations about the impact of the law on women. You can find this show on my website, www.thecounselfirm.com, and on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more. Now, please join me in Life Lessons in Law with Lashonda. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Life Lessons in Law with Lashonda. And today we have Attorney Chinwe Foster. Hey, Chinwe, how are you?
I am well, Lashonda. How are you?
I am fantastic. Now, everybody who is listening and watching, I have been waiting for Chinwe, okay? And let me tell you, Miss Attorney Chinwe Foster is booked and busy. And you will understand why as we go through our discussion. But Chinwe is amazing, okay? And so that's why it was like, oh, when can Chinwe come? When can Chinwe come? Because guess what? She's just not waiting around for me to be calling her to do a podcast because she has so much going on. And so I am so delighted and honored to finally be able to sit down with you. So welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. And thank you for having me. It's an honor to be on to talk to you.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm just going to say that I am just grateful for you. And we just going to jump right in. So, Miss Chinwe Foster, let's talk about first a little bit about your background. You're from Ohio, correct?
I am, yes, Columbus, Ohio.
Okay, so are you one of those diehard the Ohio State fans?
Oh, I am because I am a Buckeye and I did go to the Ohio State University. So yes, I'm a diehard Buckeye. Yes.
Okay. So I see where you're coming from with that. I have a cousin that is a diehard Buckeye, and you folks are not to be messed with.
We're not.
So then after Ohio, you went to Washington, D.C., and my alma mater as well, Howard University School of Law, the greatest law school ever. And you became a social engineer. And anybody who went to Howard, they understand what the term social engineer. And so then you came to Atlanta, and tell us a little bit about your experiences. And then we're going to go into like your practice areas, family law and criminal law. But let's talk about your time at the public defender's office. How was that for you?
You know, the funny thing is when I in law school, everybody wanted to work at the big, firm, and that was never me. Like I always knew that I wanted to be a public defender. I knew that they didn't get paid a lot of money. I knew that, it wasn't this glorified, career, but it's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a voice and advocate for people who otherwise could not advocate for themselves. I mean, someone like, I always use the example, O.J. Simpson can go out and hire whoever he wants, but I wanted to represent those people who didn't have O.J. Simpson money to hire, to hire Cochran and the people who represent O.J. Simpson. So I started out as the public defender. I actually was recruited. Georgia at the time, they were they were trying to revamp the public defender system in Georgia because it wasn't great. So I was actually recruited to be a part of the Georgia Public Defender Standards Council Honors Program. So it was the basically inaugural program, and it was a group of people from all over who were brought to Georgia to be public defenders. So that's how I started. I actually started in Griffin as the public defender. I worked in Griffin, and then Fayette, and then I ended up in Fulton County. And I did that, and I loved the work. I loved being in court. And I would say it's really where I honed my skills because you're in court all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You're dealing with all kinds of cases. I got the best training through the honors program and the best training in just the work that I did. So I did that for probably about 5 years until I got burned out.
Yeah.
Because it is a thankless job. You know, a lot of times you're fighting with your clients because they don't trust you because they're not paying you.
Right.
You're fighting with the judges, you're fighting with the prosecutors, you're fighting with the system. And I just got to a point where I'm like, you know what, I need a break. So I took a break. I moved to Florida, moved to Charlotte with my husband, and I was teaching, I was doing some consulting work, and eventually I was like, you know what, I need to be back in the courtroom.
Yeah.
So I was going to go back to be a public defender, but my husband and my good friend Eloretha Coleman were two people who were like, you are amazing. You need to start your own practice. You need to do this, and that's kind of how Foster Law Firm came about.
That is amazing. And guess what? When you said you started at the public defender's office and they didn't pay a lot of money, but guess what? You like money now. Look at you. Oh my goodness. Every time I see you, you are just flawless, amazing, and just beaming.
Thank
So
you.
we don't even care about that whole you weren't making money then. But you know how they say now, look at me now. Look at you now. And I see you everywhere. I see you on Channel 11, CBS. I see you on the news. And recently, if I'm not mistaken, it was last month, you are on the cover of not one, but two magazines.
Oh, I was on the
So,
cover of one, but I was in another magazine as
same
one of
thing.
the. Yeah.
Same thing. They highlighting you. So how does that make you feel? You started off at the public defender's office, you worked hard, and now you're gracing the cover of one magazine, but you're in another magazine in the same month. Talk to us about that fabulousness.
Thank you, thank you. I mean, it definitely, my hard work is paying off, and not just in the fact that I have happy clients and uh, I'm respected in the community, but that it's being finally recognized. So of course it feels great. And I have a firm. I have all my attorneys are Black women, and I always make it a point to, I've been practicing for 18 years. My goal is to help other attorneys be great, whether they're Black women, Black men,
Mm-hmm.
you know, whoever. So I'm glad that I'm being recognized, my firm is being recognized so that I can use that recognition to help other attorneys be great and represent the clients that we have. So it's definitely an honor to be on the cover, to be recognized as one of the most influential women in Atlanta. It's definitely an honor, but I, of course, hope to use that to um, better, the staff that I have, the attorneys that I have, so that they can get the recognition and we can help as many clients as possible.
Now I understand that, and I like that your team, your attorneys are women, and that's something that at our firm, my firm, for a long time it was just us girls there, just doing it, and people were so amazed, and they're like, "Well, do you all have like little cat fights?" No,
Mm-mm, no.
no, we're professionals, and and I'm sure it's the same for you. You hire the best, you do good work, you don't have time for being petty and catty because you all have a common goal. Now,
Mhm.
how hard is it, or how hard was it to find your team and get them all on that common goal to serve your clients the way that you do?
Oh, it's very hard. It was very hard to get the team, and I'm still looking for more to join the team. But when I look to hire people for my firm, I didn't really set out to say I'm going to hire Black women. I
Hmm.
was looking for exceptional people who had the same mindset, who had the same goal, who wanted to help people in the same way that I did. So I was very, very particular about who I wanted to hire and the kind of person that I wanted to pick. So it took me, this has been years trying to build this team that I have, and I'm still trying to build the team. But my goal, I was looking for a particular type of person. I didn't care whether you were at the top of the class, of your class, you were at the bottom of your class. I didn't care if you had 20 years of experience. If you did not have the mindset that I did in helping people, you were not a good fit for the firm. So it's been a long time coming. I have the most excellent, hardworking attorneys, and we're still looking to hire more people. But that really is. When people say, "Well, what are you looking for?" I'm looking for work ethic. I'm looking for a certain type of mindset in helping people, and someone who respects the craft of being a lawyer. That is really what I'm looking for, and then we can work around everything else.
You know what? That is so important. And I don't think people understand the whole mindset side of it because, yeah, you can have the best grades in the world, but if you cannot interact with clients, because I know I struggle with that when I'm looking for our team, it's like, okay, we handle people, we talk to people when they are at their worst. They've been injured by a car accident, a tractor trailer hit them, or their child was abused at a daycare center. So you have to have that right person that can say, "Come in, we're embracing you. We understand what you're going through, and we're gonna kick tail doing it, and we're
Mhm.
gonna get you a great result." And often that little bit, that mindset is overlooked, and I think that's why a lot of businesses, they have a lot of turnover, or they're dissatisfied with their employees because they're not on the same page.
Mhm.
Because for us, we're like, work hard, play hard. We're going to get the clients the money. And I know for you, you're dealing with people's freedom and their liberty. You
Mhm.
can't just have anybody doing that.
I can't. And let me just say this. This is why I refer all my personal injury clients to you. If
Oh, you're so
anybody
sweet.
calls me looking for a personal injury attorney, there is only one person in Atlanta that I will refer
Oh,
them to. So, and it's kind of the same thing. I know how you are. I know the kind of work that you do. I know how you care about your clients. I know how you respect the craft. And there's really nobody else that I would
oh, you're so
refer
sweet.
people to. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that. And, vice versa. I know what it takes. And sometimes it's just hard. It's hard. And your team, I never hate, because the worst thing for me is to refer a client to another firm and the client call back and say, "Why did you refer?" I have never had that with your firm, ever, ever, ever. And that is something that is, to me, so solid because it's not, I refer to you and no, I've never heard anything negative, all positive about you and your team and how you all are just so business and you get it done. And that's what people need. They need people who are like you and your team to make it happen for them because they don't want to be locked up. They don't want to have a criminal record. They don't want to not be able to work. They don't get me started on that. Don't get me started. Now, how do most of your clients find you? Now, I see your social media and everything that you have out there, and I like the way that it's educational, but it's entertaining too. Walk me through that process of how you all you have this knack for grabbing attention with a powerful message.
Well, always, even like I said in law school, I never wanted to work at a stuffy firm. Like I think lawyers, we think that we're supposed to be just, we're not supposed to have fun. We're not supposed to be regular people, and that's the culture of my firm. It's not how we are. So I actually hired a social media person, and to just talk about what we do at work. And we didn't want it to, if you're offended by what we do, then you're not the kind of clients that we
Hmm.
were looking for, because we're very real with our clients. I mean, this if when you come in, it's like talking to a family member. It's like talking to just someone that you know. So I don't want anyone to think that we're unapproachable,
Hmm.
that we don't understand, that we're not down to earth. So our social media kind of shows that. I mean, shows us, we work hard and we play hard. Like you said, it shows
Hmm.
us being silly, shows us in court, it shows us being funny. We have some of the some of the people that we have that work at my firm have the best sense of humor. And it'll be just, someone, an attorney, Tiffany Franks, one of my attorneys, might say, oh, we should do this, or we're sitting around talking and something happens. Oh, we should put that on social media. And it's just organic. It's just natural. That's just how we are. So most of our clients actually find us on either Google, social media, or we have also a lot of referrals. We have either former clients who are referring us. We have attorneys, judges, just people who see us. But I would say that we are just who we are, and we do great work. Our reputation precedes us, and luckily, clients find us, and we're able to help the ones that we can.
All right. Now, I know that, I guess I've been making reference a lot to the criminal law practice, but you also have family law practice as well. So, who is your ideal, if you have one, an ideal family law client that you could say, okay, if this is what's going on with you, give us a call?
hmm our ideal client is just someone who was looking for help.
Mhm.
People think that, oh, um, you're going through a divorce, it's not the same as, facing, 20 years in prison. But a divorce is a basically life shattering situation. And a
Mhm.
lot of times people go into it not understanding what's going on, and it feels like the end of the world.
Yeah.
So we're just looking to help people. Of course, we can't help everybody who calls
Mhm.
our firm, but we're looking for cases where you have a situation. It's not just someone who calls and says, I don't want to pay child support, so I need you to help me. Those kind of cases we won't take. But if you are trying to protect your assets, if you're trying to protect your family, your children, and if you just need help navigating the system, then call us. So our ideal client is someone that's truly looking for help, truly looking for assistance, not someone
Mhm.
who's trying to be petty with their significant other, or
Yeah.
avoid paying child support, or just wants to be ugly and nasty. Now, we can get ugly and nasty in court, but we
Right.
have a purpose. We have to have a purpose that we're fighting for, whether it's to make sure that you protect your assets, whether it's to make sure that you get custody of your children, whether it's to make sure that if your child support is too high, that it modifies it to something that you can actually pay, so that you don't end up in jail because you can't pay child support.
Right.
Those are just some examples of some of the cases and some of the type of clients that we help.
Mhm. So, I know that you work very hard and you play hard because I see you courtside, this place, that place. So how do you make time for yourself to have fun? Is it something that is strategic for you, or just how do you do it? How do you do it? Because you are everywhere, everywhere.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm
Okay.
still trying to figure it out. I mean, it is, to me, one of the sayings that I really, really live by is, you have to put your oxygen mask on first before you can help other people. So
Yes.
I keep that in mind when I'm getting burned out. I'm like, okay, it's time to take a trip, because I can't help my clients if I'm not okay. So that's kind of how I do it. Sometimes I'm just like, you know what, I need a break. Whether I need to take an emergency leave, just to, not be in court, um,
Hmm.
or if I just need a couple days just to really rest.
Yeah.
I take it when I can. And of course, I have excellent friends. My husband is excellent, and if he's like, "Hey, you want to go to the game?" You know what? Let me take this break and do it. So, it's still a struggle trying to make sure that I make enough time for myself, so that I can put that oxygen mask on, so that I can help everybody else. So that's still something that I'm trying to figure out. But I make sure when it gets to the point where I need a break, I make sure to take a break. And another thing that I do is, I don't ever take work home.
Oh,
When I leave, even if I have to stay in the office till 10 o'clock, I'll stay in the office at 10 o'clock, just so I don't go home dealing with work. So that's one thing that I have been doing, because when I'm at home, that has to be my peace.
yeah.
So that's one thing that I do. I don't take work home.
That is so good. And it's so funny. Uh, as I was listening to you, you were saying, "Oh yeah, and I may take a trip." Y'all don't take trips. Y'all take trips. Y'all go for it. But
I love to travel, so that's something that when I travel, we do go for it.
yes, I love that. And see, that's me too. Like, if it has good food and maybe some water or maybe some snow. I mean, I love travel. Like, I would spend my last dime on travel and
Hmm.
experiences. So we're right there. We're right
Hmm.
there on it. So tell me, let's look forward, maybe like 5 years. What does the foster firm look like?
Honestly, I want to see. My vision is to have several offices, several amazing attorneys with that mindset that I was talking about, helping as many people as possible. With me being more like a coach, a
Yeah.
mentor. I've been doing this for 18 years. And, of course, I want to keep doing it as long as possible, but I want to I want to help other people get to, where I'm at. So I want to have amazing attorneys in different areas of Atlanta or Georgia, helping different people. So I want to train and mentor the greatest attorneys who can help people in the same way that I've been able to help people.
Awesome. So let's rewind the clock a little bit and let's go back and let's talk to maybe high school or college Chinwe.
Hmm.
What would you tell that Chinwe who's looking like, okay, what am I gonna like? What advice would you give that Chinwe back then?
Probably keep going.
Yeah.
um, I think one thing, about my parents are Nigerian. I'm Nigerian. And one thing that they always instilled in me is that you have to excel in everything that you do. So I would say from a young age, I've always been like, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to be the best at it. So there were times I would say in high school, college, where either I was frustrated because it wasn't happening as fast as I wanted it to, or I didn't understand. Well, when am I going to see the fruits of my labor? So
Yeah.
I think I would tell me to just keep going. I don't think that I always had a mindset that I wanted to be great. I wanted to be excellent. I knew I wanted to be a lawyer, but I may have not had the exact path, but I kept walking. So I think I would tell myself, just keep going, don't give up. It's going to happen.
That's
Just keep at it.
amazing. And so you brought up you're just dropping some good nuggets. All right. So you being Nigerian, and I know that can be a lot of pressure. Parents put a lot of pressure. I've heard
Mhm.
from other friends who are Nigerian that you have to be here, you have to excel all the time.
Mhm.
How did you feel that overwhelming pressure to do it, or was it just that's all you knew?
I think it's kind of all I knew, and I mean back then I didn't understand. And my parents are like the most amazing person. They just knew, it's like they knew that I could
Yeah,
be excellent. It's like, and I always use that example. It's like when you come home and you're happy that you got a B. It's like, well, why didn't you get an A?
yeah,
Like, what's the reason that you couldn't get an A? And that it was just, you can get an A. You can do whatever you want to do. So even though I didn't understand it now, I get it now, because when I'm thinking about how to help a client, and I know that I can help this client, I just don't know how to do it. I know that, okay, let me figure it out, because there's a way to figure out how to get the results that I want to get. And it kind of stems from how I was raised. It's because you can get that A, you can get that not guilty, you can get your client custody. And I use that mindset in almost everything that I do. So it was I don't think I understood it back then because I was younger, but having to strive for excellence is something that's always in me.
yeah. And like I am not Nigerian, but my mom was serious about she didn't play.
Hmm.
Like sometimes I would say, "Oh, this test is going to be so hard." She would say, "Oh, you better not bring home a B. You bet not."
Hmm.
And so it was just like instilled in me, like, But she, just like you said, your parents, she knew. she knew. She was like, okay, you're smart, you're talented. Don't come with something that's not your standard.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, I was like, dang, mom is just on my neck all the time. But now I understand it
Mm-hmm.
because I see some of my friends whose parents were a little more lenient, well, a lot more lenient. Like my mom was known as, oh, you don't mess with her mom type person.
Uh-huh.
Whereas some of my other friends, they had more lenient parents and, they could hang out, they could do a whole bunch. And I see the difference. I
Mm-hmm.
see the difference. Then I was like, man, my mom's so mean. She won't let me do this. She won't let me do that. But now I see. And
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah, and it's so interesting to see it full circle now.
Mm-hmm.
Because back then I was like, lady, leave me alone.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
used to
go
be
do
like,
this. And she was like, sister, you better get back in there and you better not bring home this B. And
I
but
remember I'm
sometimes
like, well, why can't my parents be cool like my friends' parents? Like, why can't they let them go out and stay out and do whatever and be okay with C's? Like, why is a B not okay? I appreciate it now. I didn't understand it then, but I appreciate it now.
yeah, yeah. Oh, my mom was definitely not the cool mom. Everybody knew that. Cool, please. And she would make it very known, I'm not one of your friends.
Hmm.
Don't do I mean, there was no crime. It was like, okay, get in line, soldier, because not gonna happen. So my last question to you is I use the term legal when I talk to my guests, and legal to me means letting your ego go and living. Tell us about a time that you let your ego go and you just said, you know what? I'm just going to live. I know that's a that's a deep question.
That is a deep question. You know, that always happens when I'm on vacation. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what I wasn't on. Because, I mean, honestly, when I'm on vacation, I'm not Attorney Foster. Don't call me Attorney Foster. I am Chinwe. I'm chilling. I'm makeup, nothing. Like, I'm chilling. Um, letting my ego go. In the legal sense, like in the law sense, or just in
No,
life?
just personal in life, just personal.
Mm, that's a hard one. But I will say that when I'm on break, I'm on break. Like I'm not Attorney Foster. I'm it's not me. But I will say this actually, I had a case that this just came to mind where it was a very difficult case, and I had a judge who was just nasty. I want to say it was a murder case probably, and the judge was just so nasty to me, and I felt so alone because I felt like I was the only one. Me and my client were I felt like I was in a hole, and I
Mhm.
felt like I was the only me and my client were the only ones in the room, even though it was full of jurors, prosecutors, the judges, bailiffs. um, and I think that I was so caught up in not letting the judge get to me that I wasn't able to get myself together. So when we had a break, I went to bathroom and I to the bathroom, but I just let go. I just cried, and I said, you
Mhm.
know what? I'm gonna stop trying to please this judge or not make this judge mad at me, and I'm gonna just let go and just handle this case. And I cried, I wiped myself off, I went back in that courtroom and I killed it. And
I
I
know
think
you
that
did.
I was worried about, okay, well, how's the judge going to see me? I don't want to, look a certain way from the jurors. And I mean, I was like, you know what? I don't care what this judge says. I'm going to put on my case. I'm going to represent my client. And I got a not guilty. And at the end, when I spoke with the jurors, they were like, I knew they could tell. I mean, they could see that I was tense before. And they were like, after we came back that day, you were just different. And so I don't know if that answers your question, but that
No,
something that comes to me where I was like, you know what, let me let go trying to present a certain way and just do. And I think the judge was trying to intimidate me. And typically I don't let anybody intimidate me, but this was a very difficult case. And I just kind of said, you know what, let me let go of the formalities and just do this. And it worked out for my client.
that is amazing. That is such an amazing thing. And then, just to kind of let go. It's in our profession, sometimes it's hard. It's very hard, and it can be a scary thought of just being yourself, being yourself and being true to who you are. But that's the easiest person we can be, who we are.
And the funny,
Finding
yeah, the funny
other people,
thing,
that's hard.
the funny thing is, I didn't give you this example, but I have a tattoo that says "Let go and let God." I don't know if you can see it, but
Oh
let go
wow.
and let God. That's what it says. But there's a situation that happened where, and I'm not going to talk about this one. Oh, see,
Yeah.
you know what? Let me let go and let God. A lot of people don't know I have tattoos, but I do have a tattoo. So people think that I'm, but no. But there's one example that I wanted to say, but I said no. I'm gonna tell you that outside of the
Yeah. Okay. I
say that
got you.
outside.
Yeah. But it's so funny how people have misconceptions, and I know our time is running out, about attorneys and what they think the behavior of attorney how, but we're people too. We are people too. We hang out, and it's so crazy. Matter of fact, last week I went to an event, and like they were playing trap music. They were playing my stuff, okay? And I was dancing, and I had to stop myself because I realized so many people had their cameras out, and they were just like, they weren't having a good time. Like I was having a good time. Like I was in my own world, being authentically me, having a good time. But then I was like, you know what? I don't want to be an unpaid extra in these people's videos. And it made me go back into a retreat. And I hated it. I hated it. I hated it because that's just, I guess, our world. They don't let people be.
Mhm.
And it's not like I was wilding out, but still, it was one of those things where, why can't we just be present? Put your phone down, enjoy where you are right now. Like, what's the point in videotaping your whole time at this event? Just be present, be you. And I know that probably does not wrap into what we're saying. So I just had to vent for the people out there. Listen, just when you go someplace, just be there. Why you have to tape everything you do? Like,
Turn
and
your
take other
phone
people
off to
in the meantime.
experience it. Be in the moment. No, and it's funny. The greatest thing that I ever did is I set my phone on automatic do not disturb at 10 o'clock every night, and it doesn't come back on until 8 o'clock. And I put my phone down so that I can either chill with my husband, watch TV, because it's so easy. The phone, like everybody's on the phone all the time. So I get it. I get exactly what you're saying. Be in the moment, experience the moment. You're trying to, you're trying to put it on camera, but actually experience it and let that memory be in your head. And it means a lot more than taking videos. So yeah, I get it. I completely get it.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm gonna try that do not disturb. See, that's why your skin and everything always looks so nice and fresh, and you look so young and good. Because you set boundaries. Those are
I
boundaries.
yeah.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Okay, we can go on and on and on forever, but our time has come to an end. So, Chinwe, how can our listeners and our viewers find you?
Well, you can find me on our website, which is fosterlawga.com. My phone number to my office is 404-525-3082. And on all social media platforms, we are Foster Law GA. YouTube, it's Foster Law GA. So Foster Law GA everywhere. That's how you can find me.
Awesome. Okay, see, everybody, I told y'all Chinwe was amazing. What was is amazing. We don't even have enough time to go through everything. Let me see, where are my little papers? Chinwe was, it's all over. She's all over the place. So check her out if you have criminal law needs, if you have family law needs in Georgia. Is your go-to. Okay. So again, thank you so much for tuning in to Life Lessons in Law with Lashonda. And again, my guest today has been the fabulous Chinwe Foster. And we look forward to you joining us next time. And again, go check Chinwe out. All right. Until next time, everybody, take care. You've been tuning into Life Lessons in Law with Lashonda. In each episode, we have authentic and entertaining conversations about the impact of the law on women. I hope you'll join me each time. You can find this show on my website at www.thecounselfirm.com and on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more. We appreciate your positive comments and reviews. And don't forget to share this show with others. I've been your host, Lashonda Counsel Rogers.